Would you all please stand and join Sue Deans with our two pledges?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. I'm standing in front of it. I better move out of your way. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it a truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Okay, so now we will introduce our guests and visitors. If you're here with a visitor, please remain standing and I'll bring the mic around to you.
Good afternoon. I'm Stan Garnett, and I'm here with my good friend Michael Doherty, who is the next district attorney taking over for me. Very quickly, Michael was born in New York, was a prosecutor for many years in New York, came out to Colorado to run an innocence project through the Colorado Attorney General's office, then worked at the AG's office and at the Jefferson County District Attorney's before he was appointed by Governor Hickenlooper last week. Thank you.
Welcome.
What's that? Yeah. Do I not get that? Okay. Okay.
Only Stan gets that.
My guest over here to my far left is Mike Urbachka, who is Vice President of A&B Bank and a former star golfer at the University of Wyoming, who is now living in Boulder, and a great guy. I hope you come up and meet him. Mike Urbachka.
I forgot to tell you to look at the camera when you're introduced. And I forgot to tell you that I'm supposed to hold onto the mic.
I see. My guest today is David Driscoll. My firm a while back decided I was getting old and they needed some young blood in the firm. So Dave has just joined our firm. He is here for his second visit. He said he was here the first time, had a lot of fun. I said, well, see if you can have fun the second time. So Dave Driscoll.
Great.
You're not letting this get away, huh?
No, I'm not.
Okay. My guest on my left over here is Leo Lesage. He's a 16-year Rotarian from Naperville, Illinois, where he retired more or less as the director of the Applied Physics Division at Argonne National Labs. He also started work with Admiral Rickover on nuclear submarines, and if you want to know what happened at Chernobyl, he'd been involved with that. So he's here for the first time to discover that we have a club very similar to his in Naperville.
My guest today is David Miller. He is a local entrepreneur, and his daughter is an exchange student in Brazil. Chloe's having a fabulous time. Please welcome David.
Any visiting Rotarians in the room? Oh, sorry. She's sitting on my table. I should have done that.
My guest today. My guest today is my new neighbor, Christina Louie, and she and her husband moved here from Seattle in July. He was recruited to the CU Department of Psychology. Christina's background is in fundraising. She worked for the I Have a Dream Foundation of Washington and Alaska, as well. Make-A-Wish. Oh, sorry. Make-A-Wish. You know, all of those good kids organizations. And also the Seattle Children's Hospital. And she's taking this year to get to know the community, and she's wanting to volunteer. She's already volunteering as a driver at VIA, a volunteer driver. And she's looking forward to getting to know other nonprofits in the community. So please welcome Christina.
We have
Visiting Rotarian.
visiting Rotarian.
Yes, I'm Ed Steinbrecker. I'm from Evergreen, but I attend the Conifer Rotary Club. It's a little closer to me. I actually lived here in Boulder. I first came in 1966. I'd like to say I was only 5, but I really came out here to work, and I've left and live in Conifer now. So I always enjoy stopping over and seeing a lot of the people I know here. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Anybody else we missed? Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you all for coming. All right, let's go ahead with our member transitions, please. Our introductions. Joanna, if you and Kathy would come on up, and Paul, you and John, and Merrill and Charlotte. So whoever gets here first. Paul, why don't you all start? It's fine. Oh, okay. I guess Merrill's going to start. Now, do you know why Merrill is wearing this hat? What's today? This is Dr. Seuss's birthday. Aw. Okay. Go for it.
Thank you. It's my distinct honor and privilege to sponsor Charlotte Ream to become a Blue Badge member of our Boulder Rotary Club. Charlotte's a research scientist and consultant at Terra Limno, LLC, located here in town, and you can talk to her to find out more. Gary Kahn, whom you all know, wearing his medical hat, has pointed out that research has shown again and again that 3 of the most important behaviors that lead to health and happiness are exercise, getting off the couch and into the great outdoors, and giving back to others. Charlotte personifies these traits. She loves to be in our Colorado mountains, trekking in the snow, and in other seasons, you can find her on the trails. And she has given back through our Rotary Club in very special ways. In a short time Charlotte has been in our club, I'm amazed at what she's accomplished. She's attended the Rotary Leadership Institute. And to quote Charlotte on this, and I hope you all will attend at some point, this was a wonderful opportunity to learn about Rotary from a club, district, and RI perspective, and how pieces fit together in Rotary. It was also an opportunity for me to meet many Rotarians from other clubs, learning invaluable lessons and ideas that I hope we can bring back to our club. I'm very grateful I had this opportunity. Charlotte's a member of our PPE committee, Preserve Planet Earth. She's become champion of our multifaceted tree planting initiative as a Red Badge. And that includes tree planting and curriculum about ecology at selected Boulder Valley schools, working with the city and the Centennial Committee to develop a peace and sustainability park in downtown Boulder. And she's coordinated a multi-year Boulder Rotary tree planting effort with opportunities for all of us. She's a member of the Boulder Rotary Beer Trail Committee, which you're going to hear about soon. Although I don't recall, Charlotte, that Gary mentioned this was one of the healthy behaviors. Committee member she is for the 2018 Denver Rotary Wash Symposium. It's to be held in October in the Posner Center for International Development. She joined the Red Badge Committee and to enhance and expand our Red Badge program. And she's a member of the Boulder Rotary Guest and Visitors Committee that you saw when you came in. Not bad for 6 months. As Charlotte herself summed up her experience in our club, it has been wonderful to work with folks in Boulder Rotary. You provide a very dynamic environment, and I greatly appreciate you. It has been fun and a very rewarding 6 months, and I'm deeply impressed with the dedication, talent, knowledge, passion, and willingness to share with Rotarians in this club. Please welcome Charlotte Ream to our Boulder Rotary family.
I'm reminded that I should bring my reading glasses to these events. I am pleased and very enthusiastic to introduce John Jonas as a new member, Red Badge member of Rotary Club. As you may remember, John and his family recently moved to Boulder. John is proud to explain that he grew up on a chicken farm in central Massachusetts, where he began working as a third grader. It's only logical that with that start, John's eventual career path led to he and his family living in Southeast Asia, primarily Singapore, for the past 20 years. He was involved in a number of different businesses and traveled extensively as his responsibilities took him throughout that region of the world, and I might add to many other areas of the world as well. John and his wife Jody moved to Boulder as a transitional move from their years in Southeast Asia and have referred to it as a sabbatical. But I know that it is their strong desire and intent to become broadly engaged in this community, with a further intent that Boulder will become their permanent home. Their son Jacob, 14, will be a freshman at Fairview in the fall, and I've come to understand that he's demonstrated his skill as quite a baseball player. John and Jody have already become engaged in volunteer activities in the Boulder area. Jody has been volunteering in Boulder's homeless shelter. John is a volunteer in Eldora's adaptive ski and snowboard instructive program and serves as a coach to his son's baseball team. He also recently finished a grueling volunteer mountain rescue certification program called WOOFER, which stands for Wilderness First Responder. And as John has described it, it is akin to serving as an EMT without the ambulance. His career led to management and strategic roles in the energy services and process industries. His goal is to find opportunities in the renewable and alternative energy industry, and I have assured him that Colorado is a terrific place to accomplish that. He is very enthusiastic about joining Rotary, has attended 2 of our weekly meetings as my guest, and I expect that John will become an actively engaged member of our Rotary Club, and ask that all of you give him a warm welcome.
I'm delighted to introduce to you my dear friend, Kathy Olivier. Kathy was born in Oslo, Norway, and grew up in El Paso, Texas. Look, horns. She received a BBA in Information Systems from North Texas State and later went to work for Shell Oil Company in Houston, at which time she received an MBA in Finance at the University of New Orleans. During her time in New Orleans, Kathy met her husband, Mark. Kathy and Mark moved to Chagrin Falls, Ohio, a small town outside of Cleveland, where they raised their daughter, Lauren, and son, Matt. In 2015, Kathy and Mark moved to Boulder after visiting their son several times at CU and falling in love with the area. Lauren and Matt are now grown. Lauren works for Excel Energy as a recruiter, and Matt recently completed his master's degree in environmental studies and is currently looking for work. Kathy has worked in IT for over 30 years as a programmer, systems analyst, technical lead, project manager, technical support manager, and release manager. Most of her career was spent as a consultant, where she worked for 5 major companies: Shell Oil Company, Avery Materials, Nestle's FIS division, MTD, and Nationwide Insurance. Kathy now works with her husband at their accounting and finance business here in Boulder. Kathy enjoys biking and hiking and has climbed 10 14ers with Mark. She is currently the programs chair of the American Association of University Women, where she also manages the organization Start Smart and Work Smart workshops and the nonprofit social media accounts. Please join me in welcoming Kathy to Rotary.
I'm going to go ahead and move the raffle and Bill's Rotary moment till after the program. So Bobby, if you would come on up and do the honors and introduce our speaker, please. So at this point, I'd like to invite Bill and Merrill, if you come forward and do your little piece of what we delayed. Merrill, the raffle, and then Bill has a spot that he wants to talk about an upcoming program. While he's getting here, thanks go to Tom Chesney and John Rieger for helping with the scanning in everybody today. Appreciate having Nathan and Wendy and Fred at the switch over here, and great to have Grant back. And then also on your tables, you have the latest of our committee highlights that Cassidy did with the four-way test. So, okay, Bill.
Thanks, Marty. Last spring, I was contacted by Annie Lennig, who was a member of this club back in 2010, 2011. Andy is now serving in the Peace Corps in Truskovitz, Ukraine. Hopefully we got, yeah, all right. Just to give you an idea, it's in eastern Ukraine. Andy's assignment in the Peace Corps has been to assess and assist and support nonprofits in Truskovitz, including the Rotary Club of Truskovitz. As many of you recall, this district was instrumental in signing a memorandum of understanding between the Rotary International and the Peace Corps. Our club, in fact, donated seed money to that committee in honor of Jim Swaby, one of our members who was the first Peace Corps volunteer drafted out of the Peace Corps into the Army during Vietnam. Andy and the Truskovitz Club decided to take on a rather audacious plan to put on the first annual Truskovitz International Youth Conference. The idea is to bring together young leaders ages 16 to 19 from the US and Western Europe with Ukrainian youth to learn the best from each other. Andy got in touch with me last year because I was the club president. I was interested because Truskovitz is in eastern Ukraine near Lviv, a place where I have worked a number of times, wearing one of my other hats. Andy and I agreed that I would visit Truskovitz in December when I was in that part of the world on another mission. I spent 2 days in Lviv and Truskovitz with Rotarians from Lviv, Truskovitz, and District 2232, plus Peace Corps folks. Prior to going, I met with Nora, Scott, and some others to discuss whether our club was interested in assisting and what their concerns were. And I raised those with the Ukrainians during my visit. Since December, I've been working with the Rotarians in Ukraine and the Peace Corps on this conference. Bill Rubin, who's Mr. Colorado Ryla, Steve Werner, who was here, I think, last week, the chair of the district's Rotary Peace Corps Alliance Committee, and I have been talking about it. The conference is now set. The conference will be 7 days in early August, based on the Ryla model. Young people will need to spend time together learning, working, socializing, and practicing, and perfecting skill sets such as leadership, volunteerism, communications, conflict resolution, and team building. Rotary District 2232, which is in Ukraine, is now officially, has made this an official part of their activities, and both the district and a number of other Ukrainian clubs are actively involved in the planning and implementation of the conference. The district is planning on using the conference as a model for developing a Ryla program in Ukraine. And the Truskovitz Club is also planning on welcoming the newest Interact Club in Ukraine, the Interact Club of Truskovitz. The conference is receiving support directly from Rotary International as well as the Peace Corps. 15 current Peace Corps volunteers have already signed up. There will likely be involvement by both the Ukrainian and the United States government. At this point, apart from Bill Rubin's and my personal involvement, Boulder Rotary Club has made no commitment to the conference. It's strictly been a personal mission of mine and Bill's. My reason for talking to you today is first to let you know what's happening. Second, to make this work, Rotary and the Peace Corps need young leaders from the U.S. to attend and young trainers to help with the training, and adult leadership for training Ukrainian Rotarians. I briefed our Rotaract and Interact committees about the event, and I would welcome questions from any of you. As I say, at this point, our club has made no commitment whatsoever. But if any of you are interested in participating or know of young people who are interested in participating, let me know. It seemed like a pretty pie in the sky idea when Andy proposed it a year ago. But it's also an example of what Rotary can do when one person takes the lead. I think it's something that would be very interesting to young people from our community, or young adults, or adults. And so if any of you have any questions, please talk to me. Thanks.
It's not the seventh inning stretch, but it's the raffle stretch. So if you bought a ticket today, if you'd stand up, don't be shy. If you bought a ticket, if you ate candy, that makes it even better. If you didn't, there's some left. Okay, so if your ticket begins with a number 1, okay, I guess you can still stay standing. If your ticket has the second number 7, you can remain standing. If your next to last number is 5, you can remain standing. And if your last number is 2, somebody should be standing. Last number is 2. So that means the whole number. Hey, good. Well, as a former school district employee and everything else, Ed Steinbrecher, you are now $79 to the good. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go ahead with PowerPoint.
I've traveled many a mile and haven't found a home. I've traveled many a mile and one seed's unsown. I've traveled another mile till I finally find my home. With imagination, I'll get there.
Welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the PowerPoint for March 2nd, 2018.
March is Rotary International's Water and Sanitation Month.
Get involved with your World Community Service Committee. They support water and sanitation projects worldwide. Does anybody remember the Evelyn Wood speed reading course? Well, unless you took it, you best get this book and start reading, because the next book club meeting is April 9th. And the book is Pandemic, Tracking Contagions from Cholera to Ebola and Beyond. It's going to be a good time. Scott Nelson's home. Contact Darla or Sue for more information.
I am so proud to be a Rotarian. Our World Community Service Committee is participating in a project to provide dental care in Nepal. Several dental camps will be held near Kathmandu and Bandipar to...
That's easy for you to say.
To identify and treat mostly children needing dental care. This is a major need in Nepal, and the care provided may be the only dental care that some of the children ever receive.
Way to go, World Community Service Committee.
Speaking of Rotarians doing great things, if you hadn't had a chance to volunteer for anything yet this year, here's some opportunities. You can volunteer for reading partners, so you'd reach out to Jean Lindeke or Pam Hink. You can also volunteer for Young Ryla, and you'd reach out to Bill Rubin.
And a new volunteer need under the title of Club Service is Rotation Day. The Rotation Day Committee is looking for assistance both on the planning committee and volunteer help the day of. The entire club will appreciate your help to make this year's Rotation Day exceptional. It's going to be around the 1st of June or so. Contact Aaron Rattay for more information and to volunteer. Get involved. Well, Boulder Rotary Club Centennial is just around the corner, and you heard from Jenna and Lon last week.
Is that their Hollywood name?
Well, you know they are a very famous Rotarian couple, Sally.
They sure are. The Boulder Rotary Club Centennial Committee has been meeting for more than a year to plan for projects and events to mark the significant milestone of our club's 100th anniversary on April 1st, 2019.
Several tangible projects are in the pipeline, Sally.
Additionally, we hope to identify a major service project with significant opportunity for hands-on service by Boulder Rotarians.
In order to evaluate and recommend such a project to the club's board of directors, the committee is asking for potential project champions to provide detailed information on your project idea.
Thank you for your help in making this a truly memorable anniversary year.
Don't make me sing the birthday song again. Well, next week is almost the Ides of March. It's actually March 9th. What's next week's program, Sally?
Next week's program, Kim Kapunas, Executive Director, is going to tell us about B Corp certification and how companies are leading the global movement of people using business as a force for good. Today, over 500 companies worldwide were recognized for their exceptional social and environmental impact. These are all over the world and are creating exceptional positive social and environmental impacts, because we said impact.
They're like Rotary companies.
Exactly.
We're sisters and brothers. Well, with imagination, we can get there. We are the Boulder Rotary Club. This has been the PowerPoint for March 2nd, 2018. And everybody now, have a great weekend.
Last but not least, we have a few birthitarians. So, Pam Miles-Bender, would you do the honors, please?
I will. And when Marty called me and asked me to do this, I felt a little odd to do it, which you will see why in a second. But the birthdays for March 1st through the 15th are Diana Royce Smith, sponsor Jim Hannafin, and Julianne Pierce, sponsor is Carol Griever. Paul Spursman, birthday is March 5th, good day. His sponsor is Genevieve Smith, and this is why I feel weird, because my picture's up there, and I'm not counting anymore, so I don't know about the rest of you. But I was brought in by Diana Sherry and Michelle Carpenter. Yanni Rodatis, who's March 13th, and Edwin McDowell, who's also March 13th. David Evans Dock, sponsor is Jack Rummel, and also March 13th. That's a very big day in this club. So happy birthday to everyone.
Thank you. And on your final note for the weekend, after you spend a wonderful afternoon, and the best place to be on a Friday afternoon, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. Thank you, Dr. Seuss. Thank you all for being here, and have a great weekend.